Good morning, students. Today we're going to be learning about point of view. Point of view is very important in a story because it helps us, the readers, understand the characters' feelings and actions. And depending on the point of view that the author chooses, a reader will have more or less information as the story unfolds. Let's remind ourselves what point of view is and how the author can use that as a tool in their writing. Are you ready? Here we go. Point of view and why it matters. What is point of view? Point of view is the person telling the story and how the story is conveyed to the readers. Margaret Atwood said, "Reality simply consists of different points of view." That's definitely true. But how does an author use it as a tool in their writing? Points of view. There's several ways that the author can do that, and we're going to look at three of them. The first one is first-person point of view, the I voice. A character in the story tells their own experience. The second one we're going to talk about is second-person point of view, the you voice. The story is from the perspective of you. The author or narrator is telling the story to you, the reader. And the last one we're going to talk about is third-person point of view, the he or she voice. The story is told from the view of someone watching from the outside, like a narrator. First off, let's look at these in more detail. First-person point of view, the I voice, or me voice, my, mine, we, our, or ours. The character is speaking. The reader experiences the story as the character does. The reader is restricted in the information that can be conveyed because we're only knowing the thoughts of the one character, the one telling the story. Second person point of view, the you voice, it has an accusatory tone and can be uncomfortable to read in long novels. The author or narrator is telling the story to you, the reader. Second person is not commonly used. You said you were going to mow the lawn. Yeah, that doesn't seem very comfortable to be reading for a long period of time. Third person point of view is the he or she voice, or the it, they, or using the character's names instead of I. We're going to talk about two different types of third person point of view. The first one is restricted. Restricted third person point of view is close to first person point of view. The characters convey what they know, but do not have access to the other character's thoughts. So an author is telling the story about one of the characters without knowing what the other characters are thinking as well. So that's restricted third person point of view. The second type of third person point of view is omniscient. Third person omniscient point of view is the author's point of view. Again, the author, and thus the reader, can step inside the minds and thoughts of other characters, look behind closed doors, and allow the reader to know even more about the protagonist in the story. So not only does the narrator know about the main character, he also knows, or she also knows, about the other characters as well, and their thoughts and opinions about what is happening in the story. Why is point of view important? Points of view affects the whole story. Imagine for a second if you were hearing the story of Star Wars. If you were listening to Luke tell the story, his story would be very different from Darth Vader's. If you were listening to Iron Man tell the story, it would be a very different story than if Thanos had told you the same story. And what about Batman and the Joker? They experienced the same things, yet their point of views would be very different. And what about Sleeping Beauty? She's one of my favorite princesses, but her point of view is very different than her counterpart, Maleficent. Point of view does make a big difference. I'm glad you were able to review with me today. I hope reviewing the information on point of view really helps you to remember what you learned in class. For our reading passage this week about Harry Potter, there is a question in your closed reading activity that you will have to answer. That question is, even though the story is told in third person point of view, the reader knows Harry's thoughts. How does this help the reader? I think from our discussion we just had, you will be able to answer that question. I look forward to seeing what you write and how you think point of view influenced how much that we know about Harry Potter. Until next time.